Okay, so this morning, as I was awakening and having the luxury of loitering in my bed for a little while, things were coming through. And we say we are a human having a spiritual experience, or we say we're spiritual having a human experience. Regardless of what it is, it's spirit, human, human, spirit, right? Regardless. So instead of getting all caught up in what it is that you think you're living, you're in the here and the now, and you're in a physical house. You're in a physical avatar. And in that physical avatar, there are systems that have to keep that flesh, bone, and blood alive. And then there's the spirit that houses there. And then everything's being recorded by the soul. And the soul knows your mission. And the spirit has to go out and experience it through the physical avatar. And there's a lot happening right now. A lot. And so Spirit was showing me, we're like mid-contraction. We're like, oh, like I can't do it. And then as you begin to come down the other side of that contraction, it's like, okay. Now I know I have a reprieve, right? This is very hard on the body. Whether you're birthing something new or you're releasing something of old, it's very, very taxing on the physical body, the emotional body, spiritual body, the mental body, etc., etc., etc. So then they were showing me going into a house, a new place of dwelling. Could be apartment, house, condo, doesn't matter. You go into it, right? No one else lives there. You've either purchased or you're leasing, whatever it is, doesn't matter. What do? You begin to clean. You clean and you sanitize before you bring your belongings in. And then when you bring your belongings in, you're cleaning, dusting, moving things around to find their right places that you enjoy. Pictures, carpet, furniture. Sometimes what you brought in doesn't really fit in the new place. Now, even if you're fortunate enough to move into new construction, you're the first being to actually physically dwell in this domain, you're doing the exact same thing. You're cleaning, you're clearing, you're bringing your things in, you're cleaning and clearing them, unpacking them, dusting them off. And then you may find that you have a lot of empty space that needs filled. And that takes creation. Like you have to go look at the size of the room, what might go with what you currently have, what would complement this, and what just doesn't go. And so you have to make a choice. If this no longer serves in this domain, and I can't just hang on to it anymore, I've got to let it go and let it be someone else's treasure. So as we're going through as physical avatars, having a spiritual experience or a spirit having a physical experience, it's all the same metaphors for what is happening right now mid-contraction. We're coming towards the end of this year, which is a calendar man-made year. And we've been anticipating and expecting so many things to occur. And so the frustration levels are extremely high because everyone's at their tipping point. Many are at their tipping point of I just need things to move along. And a lot of that comes from filling our house with things that don't serve. Predictions, information, listening to someone's sermon, listening to people who don't show their face, listening to people who tell you they've got military intel, listening to people who think they've got something coming from somebody's hat group, somebody's card group, somebody's something. It's somebody else's stuff. And you've opened your doors and your windows of your home, and you've invited it all in. And now you're frustrated and angry because you can't even sift through all the information. And so you want to categorize everybody as liars. And you're fed up. But it's because all those threads, I tell you, they get caught in the Velcro that are just so hard to pick out. They're embedded in there, right? That is what we have created around ourselves and our energy fields by allowing this. So what do? Close those damn windows. Shut those doors. Look around. Release with permission and consent to, you know what? I'm just going to let all that information go back to their sources. It no longer comes into my home environment. I will no longer have beginning, middle, and end of contractions on someone else's information. I had 3 phone calls yesterday from clients having a mini crisis because they were at the end of their road, their end of their rope of all this information, and realizing that no one can tell who's telling the truth. And I said this 2-3 years ago up to now, this is the way it was going to go. There was going to be so many pathways of information. And people are on the precipice of, I got to know what's coming, so I'm prepared. And if I don't know what's coming, then I can't prepare. And then I may be extinguished from the earth. My guide team has told me all along that I didn't come here to be taken out. I didn't come here to implode and explode through someone else's avenues of information. That I would be exactly where I needed to be and in the best shape that I should be in by following a daily regiment of no distractions, staying in my lane. Now, staying in my lane has been a little difficult sometimes because I know I can get out there and rearrange crap like that. I could douse people with my information, and I could direct and fix a lot of stuff. So 3 years ago, when I was told, stay in my lane, I was like, okay. So when I would hear things, see things, I would just have to come and stay in my lane. Because when I get out of my lane, I'm fixing and I'm taking people out of their lane. And you know what happens on a freeway when you take everyone out of their lane? What a cluster of a mess. And accidents, injuries, and harm. So, your life is like a highway. Stay in your lane. Don't come over into someone else's lane into their learning experiences. Don't create harm by pushing your belief system, your perspective, your thought. Don't over-talk your business to everyone around you so that you can fill them in from the information that you've gathered onto all of them. Let them gather their own. Let them gather their own. Because guess what? Now you get the finger pointed at you because you've been spewing all of everyone else's information, trying to help maybe those that you love around you. But really what you're doing is creating a pit of conflict. It's going to come back to bite you one way, shape, or form. And I'm seeing this a lot. A lot. So if I can encourage you to disconnect from that insanity, because if you look at all the information that's been going out around here, it's insane. Do you think that they're telling me not to go there? I'm not going to go there on that one. We are not meant to be overloaded and inundated. That is old paradigm that gets you into a place of confusion. Massively effed up confusion. And you won't know if you're coming or going or if you're in your lane or not. You won't know thyself and your information through your higher self, which is you and you and you and you. And then you got a guide team that surrounds all that. And then you got a recording of the soul. And they're all trying to, hey, remember you, that's not something you want to go back into. You want to learn your lesson again? Because we can give you that again. And they will keep presenting the same thing in front of you until you're acknowledging, recognizing awareness, and then being able to, I love you, I forgive you, and back to the light you go. And then every time it comes up, boom, the light bulb comes off, rearrange some things, and your responses are different. I know many of you are gathering information so that you can share it to those who are not, and I understand that. But until they gather their own information, it's not viscerally connecting to the heart space. Hear me when I say this. If they are not gathering their own information, they are not viscerally connecting through the heart center. They cannot rely on you giving them all of the information. Because even if they see some of it appearing, you're not going to get the credit. And you're wasting your energy on soliciting and converting others to the way that you think and the gathering of the information that you think, and then you're spewing it all over them. And it literally is creating wedges between people. So if I can encourage you to look at the relationship you have with yourself and to really step into that. If someone asks, you can ask yourself and your higher self, is this something I need to respond to? And if so, how would you like me to respond? Is this information I've just gathered, is it just for me, for the knowingness of me? And not meant to Told you so. I told you I knew all this. Told you. It's creating too many frequent contractions and not enough expansion. Stay in your lane. Connect with yourself. Work with your own visceral connections through your heart center. Align your chakras, your balance, creating harmony. And whatever comes your way that everyone else is talking about, you'll be the strongest pillar of light you can possibly be. I'm going to be doing a video here in a second on expanding that pillar of light, so stay tuned. In the meantime, like, subscribe, and share. And I appreciate all the comments.